father wants you something. Kadisa, what do you want to do?
Manager.
So, if Kadisa is a manager, and if whatever we just see is whatever Robert did for Kadisa, working for Kadisa, Kadisa needs to go back to Robert Works and be able to check it and give directions so Robert can do the work the way that Kadisa likes it to be done. And one general way is that it's better off to organize your work column-wise rather than row-wise because it's easier presentable. Anything that you can have in columns, you can be able to make it in rows. What Kadisa wants from Robert is something very simple. Kadisa wants from Robert to put here a note, and that note would be clear in such a way that if Robert moves to the other company that competes with you, or if Robert gets a promotion and moves up, and Guy is the person who is going to do that, he should always have a documentation of what is done so we can move on. And Kadisa needs to know that before she hires Robert for another position, or before he moves out because he does not give him a promotion, to know whatever Robert did and that to be clear. In that sense, I don't have time to go on and show you what Marie did. And Marie kept some notes from the class in a nice and organized way, but still incomplete of what was going on. Yesterday, I made an example of producing in two different places with two different labor costs. But it's not only producing in two different places with two different labor costs. The important difference is not so much what you pay to the American worker or to someone else, but what the American worker can be able to do and someone else around the globe can be able to do. And if someone can be able to do more or better than what you can do, even if it charges the same price, you lost the job. The other people lost the job. But if the other people can be able to do more and better at a lower cost, then definitely you are in trouble, and that's one problem that you need to face. Second thing, temporarily I get out of here and I go to Esther. And Esther gave me a PowerPoint. I go on and I see what Esther gave me. And whenever you put something in a PowerPoint, you need everything to have it in the point and not out of the point. And if everything is within the point, then I want to see what is happening. The last thing is I want to go and see what I got. And I get what is the objective. And I get what is the problem. Anytime you give work to me or to anyone else, before you give any work to anybody, I would like you to go on and go to review and do spell checking of everything. Usually people that are from Europe, Africa, or any other place, they have problems in formatting and they do not put space after comma or after period. Or they put space before comma or before period. And I would like that to be done and go on and change everything that you have. You see, it's repeated. And I want to be done. And I want everything to be spelled correctly. It's done, is spelled correctly, and I want to know how you will present things. from men, I want to learn from women everything women know about makeup. Makeup is an extremely important point anytime you want to present. Why do we have women to put makeup and not men? Or why women put makeup more than men? I'm asking a serious question. And I go to the world of birds. Why the male birds are fancier than the female birds? And why the male lion is looking fancier than the female lion? And Robert wants to say because they want to impress. And they want to be noticeable. Why did I put a bow tie today and I didn't came like the other day? I'm prepared because I don't know who I'm going to see at 2 o'clock that I'll have several meetings. And I need to be remembered. Would I be remembered because of what I say or what I look?
What you saying?
Yep.
But the guy that's going to see me today is going to see several other people. All of them will be there. And next time I'm going to be the only one with the better. And I'm going to stress even further. The fat guy with the bow tie told me that part. And I want to see what I have here. I would like.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
What?
Can you repeat what you said before the fat guy with the bow tie? I couldn't hear you.
Because appearance counts. And if everybody says the same thing that I will say, I'm going to be the only one who's going to have a bow tie. And I learned that from one of the guys that had a Nobel Prize. And he taught me how to put a bow tie. He said, how many people you see today? Very few have a bow tie. Always you want to present something that they will remember. Your audience would know what is happening. So what do I have here? I have the information that Marie gave me also from the problem. What do I have here? I look at it, it's all Greek to me. And I don't know, I go to Esther that she gave it to me. And I would like Esther to explain what is this. And I make it large so I can see it. And I want to know what is all this all about. Esther.
Professor, I don't see the screen.
Did you change what you were presenting? Because for me, it still has the Excel.
I can't see it.
So what do you see?
It's still the Excel spreadsheet.
Just Robert Excel.
Okay, it's still the Excel. So I find out what we need. So I need to present a window, and the window needs to have a refreshment all the time. Now you see Esther's PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
Good. What do you see here?
Okay, Professor. Here I just first of all present the first objective, the objective function, and I just present the wiring, drilling, and assembly time. So the next page, I continue presenting.
Next page is next page. My question is, this is actually telling me that you are working with Mathematica.
Yeah.
Is this important for me to know? Is it important for Kadisa that is making Model 1 and Model 2 of a particular machinery to know? If she works with Mathematica, Excel, or any other software. What is the important part, the tool or the subject matter?
I think both.
Kawa, would you reveal your secrets? Why it's both?
Can I tell, Professor?
Yeah.
Because both are important, because if we know what we are doing, what are the decisions that we are making in this problem or any problem, and what is the tool as managers, for example, that we can use, take us to the success in the company.
Okay, this is what you say. Let's go and check it. Kadisa is the manager, right? Kadisa,
Yes, Professor.
what do you want to know? You want to know what is happening with the business subject, or how Esther or Robert will do the work?
Both.
Why my clients don't bother if I do it with Excel, with PowerPoint, with my brain, with my calculator, but they care mostly for two things. One thing is how I do the work, and then how I present the work. But how the work is performed before the presentation doesn't matter if it's going to be with Excel, with Maple, with MATLAB, or with Mathematica, except if there are different answers. If there are different answers, then there's going to be the question why Esther is giving me this answer and Robert that is doing with Excel, he gives me a different answer. If both of you can give me the same thing, then the matter is who is going to give it to me faster and who is going to present it better. So by doing that, Esther says that I did a class, I learned Mathematica, and I'm fine. And she moves on to validate her point. After the problem, she gives me the outcome of the problem. When I look at this part, what do I focus my mind on? When I look at this part, Esther, what do I look?
I think you see the numbers.
Before I see the numbers, is there anything that I look at?
Probably the organization.
Kadisa, what do you look at?
Model A and model B on the graph, what's overlapping. The 280 hours.
What I look is at this point here, I have an underline because something is not spelled correctly.
What, assuming?
That's what it says, assuming that it has a line after that, and this is what attracts my point. This window is fine, this window is not. And if I want really to be bad, I would say if there is a problem here, it's going to be a problem somewhere else. And whenever you give work to me, I want that to be clear from the beginning, so we would not have anything in Mathematica and Microsoft Office and Google correct the English all the time, so everything that we give is completely correct. I go on to the next case. I get these big numbers. Are these big numbers important?
Yes.
If I go on and send a missile to the moon, then that number here is important. This number here is important if I go to the moon. But if I don't go to the moon and this is dollars, anything that is below the cents is not important at all. And I want you to present what is important and what is not important. And if you're talking about thousands, you're talking about thousands here, right? Is it important to pay attention to the 89 cents?
Yeah.
Esther,
Yes,
yes or
Professor.
no?
It's important, yeah.
Why?
Because this is gonna, for example, show us if the number is gonna be exact or it's gonna be more or less.
But exact is science, is business exact? Is business exact?
No.
Good. If business is not exact, then I want you to approximate the number so you can pass exactly what is the information you want to give. In other words, what is this number here? 1500. Is 1500 or 1600? Where it's going to be the closest point, to 1500 or to the 1600?
16.
And Kadisa wants to know if it's going to be 1500 or 16 numbers. These $74, $75 can go up or down for many other reasons. And the reasons would be when you look at the next number. If you look at the next number here, I'm looking at closer. What do you say here? You have model A. You have model A and model B. Can you tell me what is the information that you have here in practical terms? So I can see it, I take this window and I put it up here. And I asked Esther, what you actually are telling me with the second parenthesis?
Here we can see that model B is producing more than model A.
How many?
105.
No, a model can be 104 or 105. A model can be only in exact case. I can produce either 104 models or 105 models. How many I can produce for model A?
0.21.
No, I can produce none.
0.
And I want you to be real. Otherwise, I will know that you are a good student. And Kadisa doesn't care if you are the best student in class or you are the worst student in class. Kadisa cares if you have common business sense or if you don't have common business sense. Most of the professors are good professors. You take them out of the university into the business and they are horrible in business. Why? Because they don't get that common sense that I want you to have. Is this clear?
Yeah.
So what do I want from this point Esther to tell me? As it is the solution, you produce only the second model. And if you produce the second model, I want you to tell me why you produce the second model and not the first model before even you bother with computers and before even you solve everything. You go back to what you have. You go back to what you have. Second model, what is this telling you? Is this telling you anything? Quaco,
Yes.
Quaco, you see that part of information. Is this telling you anything?
Yes.
What it tells you.
It says there's 2 hours of wiring, 1 hour of drilling, and 0.5 hours of assembly.
So what you put here as a title?
Model B.
No.
Right. Oh, okay.
Model B can be done in 3.5 hours.
You add it all up. Gotcha.
I want you to tell me what is not there. If Model B can be produced in 3.5 hours, what happens with Model 1, Model A? I want...
It'll be done in 6.5 hours?
Good. So you put here. In 6.5 hours. Why do you produce more than Model B than Model A?
You have more time.
Because in the same time, you can produce more of Model A, Model B than Model A, right?
You have less time in Model B. This is 3.5 hours, half the time.
When you relate 3.5 to 6.5, is it more or less double the time?
It's double the time.
It's double time.
And Quaco wants to be a businessman and a manager. He needs to focus on the information that you have here. So if one model needs less time to be produced, you produce that model. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Good. But if this makes sense, I want you to tell me what this graph tells you. I take this off, and I want you to tell me what this graph tells you.
This graph, Professor, I try to represent how many hours available I produce, changing the person, the people that are working. For example, in wiring, I change from 7, I change it to 8 people. To drilling, I change it to 6 to 8 people. And for assembly, I put 4 people.
Correct.
4. Mm-hmm.
And do we have a solution and do we have a problem? That's what Cadisa cares. She doesn't care if you use it with Mathematica. She doesn't care if you know linear programming. What Cadisa wants to do is something that is important. What Cadisa wants to do is something that is important. What is important here? I can take a picture. I can see what is in the picture here. What is in the picture? Cadisa wants to know that this is the point here that you operate. You produce 120 models of Model B. Is she better off or not for that case? This is the solution. Everybody who goes to college is going to give me that part. I don't want you to be everybody. I want you to be something different. What did we say so far? Why do we have here and we are not here? Why we're not here and not go somewhere else? What are the lines we have here? And I want to go to the Roberts case. Do we waste resources or we use the resources efficiently?
We use them efficiently.
Okay, I'm asking the entire class what you guys think. Did you see the lecture that I gave you today? Do we use them efficiently? And I see some people type some text. Good. Amaris, do you hear me well now?
Yes, I hear you.
Good. do we use our resources efficiently?
Yes.
Do I use my resources efficiently?
Yes.
Kadisa, are you sure about it?
Yes.
Good. Do I have anyone who says no?
I say no, Professor.
Good. And I'll fire everybody and I'll fire the person who came to the group, the last one. Why do you say no?
Because, well, based on the graph, it doesn't show where your resources maximize each other. Just telling you where each resource stands, and not. How should I explain this? It's not being combined to maximize your profit. So it's just showing you at what level they work individually rather than combined. I don't know if that explains my point.
Okay, and I'm not going to say that I'm a Democrat, but I will put everybody to vote. Who stands with Jerry and who stands with Kadisa and Esther?
Jerry, can you mute your mic, please?
Who stands with Jerry and who stands with Kadisa and Esther? Who do I keep and who do I fire? And this is my problem. And I would say Kadisa and Esther will get A in the class. Do I care about the Ray or not? And
Professor,
yes.
I was going back to what Jerry said, right? Because he said he disagreed. But the graph needs 2 points to meet in order for it to even show anything, right?
Right.
So I don't understand what he means individually. I don't understand what he means by that.
I don't know.